Hello and welcome to today's members crystal ball. Ankita, hello, I see you in there already. So we'll just wait for a moment until a few more people come, and then I will go over the cards that we have. So I hope you're well. It's nice to see you. Jasmine, hello and welcome. It's nice to see you. Yeah, feel free to post a question. I will just wait. See if a few more people come in and show you the cards. So the cards aren't too different from what we've had lately, but I do have the shadow healing. It's been a while since we used the shadow healing, so if you want one of those. Damini, hello, welcome, hello. And the Rumi, okay, great. Okay, so I will go over the cards now, and yeah, feel free to post your questions in. You didn't make the decision with Randall? So we have chakra, we have earth magic, we have love, and we have spellcasting and shadow healing. So I don't have too many cards because I know on a member stream it's usually much more questions. And I couldn't find my Akashic. I wanted Akashic, I couldn't find them. So if you do want a different type of card, let me know. You know, I can see if it's within reach. But yeah, Akashic, I just couldn't seem to find them. So yeah, well, we'll get into questions since you do have a few. Staying away from him. I personally feel like it is the best decision. I can understand all the points to be with him, and it would be very nice if he did make that step to growth. But I also feel a little bit like, you know, breaking up with someone can halt your growth a little bit, I suppose. But I think that your growth is ultimately your own growth, and that whether you're with someone or not with someone, you should still be continuing on that. You know, halting growth and going completely backwards is different, I would say. So I think if you break up with someone and you go backwards, it's not a good sign. If you break up with someone and you just halt your growth for a moment, you're not in a great space, then yeah, and then you pick it up when you are feeling better. But if you're going backwards after a breakup, maybe you will leaning on that person a bit too much, or relying on that person a bit too much. So I would probably say it is for the best. But yes, I'll get into questions here. So Ankita says, will I clear my September exam? Okay. I'm guessing a yes on that, so best of luck. I am guessing a yes on that one. Arumi says, would it be better if I did my social work practicum this winter or wait until next year? Okay, this winter or next year, okay? I'm actually guessing this winter for that one. Ankita, should I wish Megha her birthday so should you wish happy birthday on the 30th, sorry. Yes, I do get a yes for that. Chakra card for Damini. Self-worth. So we have self-worth, but we have the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra, if you can see, the colours aren't great on this stream, but orange. So self-worth. So sometimes self-worth in the sacral chakra aspect, you know, it is really about that divine feminine energy, and also about creative energy as well. You know, sometimes we can put our self-worth to various things, like, you know, sometimes how we look. Some people do that. The achievements we've made, whether that be in like work or with something else, and you know, we can put it on different things, you know. different types of achievements as well. And with this, so it's not to say that you don't have self-worth unless you make achievements, I'm not saying that, but the creative energy is really coming through there. So if you do tap into your creative flow, if you know, when you feel that creative flow come on, if you really tap into it, don't ignore it, go with that wave, you know, you might feel a little bit more like you're building yourself up, you know, you're expanding yourself, building yourself up, and then feel like you have more self-worth. And it's not about making money from it or it being great, it's just about tapping into that flow and feeling fulfilled, you know, because self-worth has a lot to do as well with self-confidence, but also self-care. So the more self-care we do, the more we look after ourselves, the more just value we feel in general, the more worth we feel. So tapping into your creative flow doesn't have to mean making money from your creative endeavor, doesn't have to mean that you make something amazing, but you're tapping into that flow and just feeling more fulfilled within yourself, more whole, you know? And then you feel more worth when you do that. So sacral chakra if you want to work on a chakra, but don't forget about your self-care, and don't minimize your value, don't minimize what you are worth within yourself as an individual. Jasmine, does Phil's conscious self want me to leave him alone? Okay. It's like that. It's like 55% to yes and 45 to no. Sorry. To leave you alone. 55 to yes and 45 to no. I don't know if I said that the right way at first. Card of my choice for Ankita. I'll do spellcasting. Okay, so you have reconciliation. So reconciliation, of course, it's the coming back together of a connection that's been apart, you know? So it can be with a romantic partner, someone from the past coming back into your life, or it can be with a friend as well, or a family member. If you've lost contact with a different type of connection, like friend or family member, reconciliation can also be with them as well. Aromi, should I choose to do my practicum work with kids, I don't know if I'm saying that right, with kids or the elderly, or a different field like volunteering? Okay. I am actually getting children come through with that one. I am getting children. Ankita, should I enroll in class of 4th November, or will I get an earlier batch opening? Okay. Yes, it's looking like 4th for that one. Tom, hello and welcome. Nice to see you. Jasmine, yeah, I get what you're saying about going backwards after a breakup, yeah. Ankita is... And I was talking about Randall going backwards, by the way, in case you think I'm saying that you went backwards. I was talking about Randall. But Ankita is Sahan, and Jyoti going to clear the September exam too. You may ask for them separately. Yes. So apologies if I'm not pronouncing that. Sahan. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. Or Jyoti. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but I will still check. Okay. It's a little bit murky for Sahan, but I am getting a yes for both, so I don't know why that's murky. Maybe it's like a lesser chance, like a smaller chance for that one, but I am getting yeses. Any card for Tam, of course. So let's do Earth Magic. Okay, you have music and harmony. So, of course, it could be about, you know, maybe if you play an instrument that you haven't played in a while, it could be tapping back into that to bring a little bit of it's just something, it's your life, whether it's nostalgia or a bit of joy, you know. If there's music that you love, maybe there's, you know, an event you've been thinking of going to, like a music event, and you're kind of like umming and ahhing about it. This could be the sign to go to it, you know. So anything like that, anything to do with music. Maybe you're kind of bored a little bit of music, and you're being guided to like search for something new. Because one thing, you know, it also links as well with like sound healing as well. When we get the music card, it's all about those frequencies that bring us something. So, you know, normal everyday music that you listen to, you know, your favorite artists, they bring you joy, or they make you feel a certain feeling, and that's great. Or it can be frequencies where they're more pinpointed to their specific chakras or specific needs. Maybe you've been feeling like you want to do a bit of sound healing, maybe you're being guided to that. But it can be anything, music, sound healing, anything like that. Just, you know, sometimes we need that joy, and when you find a new artist that you like after so long, you know, you've been listening to the same music for so long, it can really be a refreshed, renewed sense of joy and happiness. So yeah, music, sound healing, anything like that is going to bring you harmony, joy, positive vibes and energy. And we do sometimes, when we get into a bit of a rut as well, we sometimes forget how great music can make us feel. You know, go on a drive and just sing in your car, or sing and dance in your room to your favourite songs, you know? And we underestimate how much that can raise our vibration, raise our emotions, and raise our energy. Ankita, does MD Rittick think bad about me? Or was it just chill non-judgment reaction? Okay. Yeah, definitely I'm leaning to like a non-judgment kind of energy with that one. Ankita is my cousin, Pallaby. I'm so sorry for my pronunciations of these names. Is in a relationship. I think she is. She's very. So you're asking. Are you asking if she's in a bad relationship or just a relationship in general? I'm not really sure of that one. Yeah, just repost that question if you can. Is she in a relationship, or is she in a bad relationship? What is the question on that one? Sorry about that. Jasmine, does Phil's higher self want me to continue waiting? Okay. At the moment, I would say yes. I'm still feeling the energy of like, I might go back on this decision, I might not close this door. It does feel more and more like it's getting narrower and narrower and coming to this kind of end point. But at the moment, it doesn't feel like it's at that end point, and it feels like his higher self, his spiritual self, knows that it's not quite at the end point yet. So it's almost like maybe a little bit longer. The chakra card resonates. Amazing. I'm glad. Ankita, cards regarding what I do with this mega situation. Okay, so let's do. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I know cards don't always tell you exactly the situation that you're wanting to look at, but let's pull a spellcasting and see what it says. Oh. Love. We get love. So, you know, there could be a guidance of you being the one to extend the olive branch, you being the one to be the bigger person, you being the one to hold space, you being the one to not necessarily apologize. You know, I'm not saying or feeling like an apology is needed as such, but being the one to, you know, be the more compassionate one, and be the one that's kind of salvaging the connection, or, you know, putting more effort in, I guess, you know. because you are getting love, so that's interesting. Arumi, you're welcome, of course. Sorry, and Keitha, I should enroll for 4th November. Yes. Damini, how will my relationship with my future in-laws be? I always wonder about this. Okay. So I get a good energy on that. It actually feels really nice, like really amalgamating into the family, which I think is really nice because that's the kind of relationship I would want. Getting married. I think it would be really sweet to have those kind of families where they just kind of all combine together and they all get on. I feel like sometimes in a relationship, I don't know, I feel a little bit like you just don't completely gel into the family, if that makes sense. Like, not that it's bad or negative or that you don't get on, but there's just something, like, there's a bit of a distance, a bit of a disconnect. Maybe that's just because I'm quite a strange person, like a strange multi-dimensional person, and it's difficult sometimes to get on with, normal people. But I do feel a little bit like I've had relationships like that, and I think in that long-lasting, like, end relationship, it would be so nice to fully amalgamate in with each other's families. So yeah, seeing that for you is lovely. It's very, very lovely. Jasmine, has Phil been under psychic attack, and this is what's causing him to refuse to integrate with his twin flame purpose? Okay. So I am picking up some level of psychic attack, and it does seem to particularly be impacting the kind of root and sacral. And of course, the sacral is going to impact intimate connection and intimate path, relationship path. So I would say yes. Carolyn, is Christopher closer to deciding on a future with me? Okay. Yes, I would say yes. Damini. And you are also best with personality predictions, even it involves future energy from my experience. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Rain, hello and welcome. If it, yes. Ankita, I guess you said that for... Yeah, so I got yes for both, but there was a murky energy around Sehen. There was a murky energy around that, so I was wondering if that was just because maybe they don't do as well, and that's why it's like kind of like a not as great energy. But I did get yes for both, but I just wanted to pick. I like to say everything that comes through. So if there's murkiness on something, sometimes a murky energy is like a not great clarity. So I just like to convey that and make sure, you might find that, one of them just really great and one of them just about passes or something. And then it's like, okay, maybe that's what that murky energy was. I'm not sure. Maya, hello and welcome. How did my grandpa, Juan, feel because I haven't called him? He is mean and I don't dare talking to him. Okay, so how does he feel because you haven't called him? Okay. So there's kind of an energy of not really expecting it so much. So I don't know if this kind of disconnect and distance between you has maybe been going on for a while, or he's felt that from you before, because it feels a little bit almost like not fully expecting you to. Ankita, is my brother Shivam still upset with me card regarding that, like how he feels for me? We had some bad experience a few months back. I hope he forgets all of that completely. Okay, so we'll do an earth magic and see what we get there. So it's for how your brother feels about you. So we have, okay, stillness. So when we get stillness, and it's regarding the lake, of course, but stillness, that can be, when it's in regards to how someone feels about you, it generally is like, it's taking time to reflect usually. So there could still be some thinking about things that have happened, because the lake and stillness is usually taking time to reflect and think about things. So it could still be on his mind, but stillness as well. There's also a neutral energy with stillness, because it's not like a storm. It's not like big choppy waves, which would be like anger or, you know, extreme unhappiness. But it's not like a I don't know, pouring fountain, or, you know, something that would represent more happiness and abundance and positive energy. It's a neutral energy, but there can be thinking and reflecting as well. So still kind of mulling it over a little bit, perhaps, mulling things that have happened over. Jasmine, where are these psychic attacks coming from? I feel, and are they what made him believe it's my spirits attacking him? Okay. So it definitely seems to be something to do with money. It seems to be either someone who he has borrowed money from, or someone who has been in his work group, like work colleagues, work associates, you know, whatever that might look like in his life path. It's something regarding around money. So it does seem like maybe getting to the sequel is a little bit accidental. I don't know, because a lot of the time, if people in the workspace are causing psychic attack, it can impact your root. But then again, you know, it can impact any chakra. I do work with a lot of people who get attacked from work, and a lot of the time they get solar plexus cords or impacts, because they're getting this anxiety from people, like people causing them anxiety, they're having cords to the solar plexus. So yeah, it can impact any area, but just usually you would see it's the third eye or the root with work. But any chakra that we get impacted can spread to the next chakra if we're not fully clearing enough, you know? Marine, when my mother, Cecilia, oh, why is my mother still hiding her Uncle Herman? So, why is she hiding that her uncle is in a coma? Okay, so she's hiding that, okay? So I'm getting a lot of like worrying. There's a little bit of kind of non-acceptance, but I'm getting a lot of worry. So I don't know if maybe it's something to do with caring about other people's, how they might feel. You know, if it might upset them or something like that. Because there's a lot of worry energy that comes to the forefront. That's the main thing that comes forward. Bear with me one moment. Just need a tissue. Okay. Ankita, is cousin younger sister? Is cousin younger sis Palabi? I can't say it. In a relationship? If yes, okay. In a relationship, and if yes, is it a bad relationship? Okay. I'm guessing no to relationship. Maybe there's something really casual there, like the beginning of something, or it's just something that hasn't progressed to like relationship status, perhaps. But I'm guessing no to relationship. So, Rain says, "How is Y feeling towards me?" So I definitely feel distance is the first thing that comes through, but I do feel like it's that positive but passive energy that we do often see, because it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's neutral. I definitely would say it's positive, but it's just in the back of the mind, you know. Kevin, hello and welcome. I hope you are well. It's nice to see you. Maya, how will my friend Matthias feel from now on, since I'm not going to be as friendly and near to him anymore, okay? So there definitely feels to be a bit of upset about that, a bit of kind of, oh, I wonder why, I wonder what's happened, like have I done something wrong? There does feel to be a bit of upset around that. Kevin says, how did Mayo think and feel after our date today, okay? So it does seem a little bit kind of positive, a little bit kind of smiley in a sense, but there is a bit of I'm still. It's almost like I'm processing it, like I'm just thinking about it a little bit. Um, so yeah, maybe weighing things up, a little bit afterwards, but it does feel like there is a positivity in there. There is like a glimpse of positivity in there. So that's good. And Kita says, does Shivam understand now what I did back then was for his good? Only I was protecting him, okay? So I wouldn't say there's full understanding of this. So I do feel like this does kind of reflect that stillness card, because I don't feel like there's full understanding. I feel like maybe this is something that one of those things that is being thought over still, you know, one of those things that's still being reflected on and thought about. So, but I feel like there's understanding, but I feel like there's questioning it, like not fully understanding, you know, like almost like it's he could come to terms with that, he could fully realise and come to terms with it, but maybe he just isn't there quite yet. Card of my choice for Rain. Yes, let's do a love card for Rain. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. When we do see someone who values themselves, you know, maybe moves with confidence a little bit, yeah, definitely. It definitely makes them more attractive. Maya, how does my friend Matthias feel because I am not interested in him, okay? Yeah, it does feel like there's some upset, but it also feels like there's upset around that, but it does feel almost like there's understanding, because it kind of feels a little bit like I wouldn't fully have expected you to be into me. It's almost like feeling like you're a little bit above him, and feeling like I wasn't fully expecting you to have been into me. Does that make sense? It's like, of course I'm going to be upset about it, but she's kind of out of my league. That's kind of the energy it gives. Like, it's not super distraught, like thinking it doesn't really feel like there's a 100% feeling of I had a amazing chance, if that makes sense. But there's still an upset. Jasmine, the day we argued, he brought up having to fight off my spirits. Is this what he was referring to? Oh yeah, sorry, you asked that before. I think I skipped that. Sorry about that. Yes, I feel like this questioning it, not fully, not fully actually believing it, but questioning of it. But yeah, saying that to you is definitely what was on his mind with that. Yes, I would say so. Tam, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. Will I meet my near future romantic interest doing something I love, like running or something else? Okay. Yes. So it definitely seems to be a social activity or social gathering with groups of people or a group of people. It feels to be natural. I don't feel like it's a friend introduces you. It's through a friend. I do feel like it's meeting in a public space in person. This approaching like naturally. Like maybe there's just a little bit of small talk to begin with. I don't feel like it's introduction through someone else. As such, if that makes sense. Like, of course, someone might invite you to the event and then you meet, so it's indirectly through someone. But it feels like this very natural. It's not like, this is my friend Tom. It feels like it's quite natural. And yes, it does feel like it's doing something outside or at least in a public space. More than like online or yes, I definitely would say that. I definitely would say. So that's really nice. I always think as well with things like that. There's always a chance of meeting these people online. Just because you meet in person doesn't mean they're not on dating apps. So if you're that kind of person that's happy to do that, online dating, I don't see anything wrong with that. I've done it before, but I do have some people in the community that just wouldn't do it. They just don't like the energy of online dating, which I get it. If it's gone bad for you, I get it. But yeah. My point was just to say maybe casting a wider net gives a better chance, but it seems more... I'm really prominently seeing that out in person kind of thing for you. I'm sorry, I've lost where I'm up to now. Bear with me. It's just YouTube can be a bit silly like that. Ankita, I'm not being the bigger person this time. With Megha, she said that has always come back because she's always right and I am wrong. Yes. Well, I mean, it's totally understandable, and I feel like, with the love card, I suppose as long as you're being in compassion and being in love, being in love energy, you can lovingly just move on from someone as well. There's many ways to for that to manifest, for love to manifest within a connection. Even just lovingly saying, this isn't for me and I'm moving on now, in a loving way, without arguing and without holding a grudge or anything like that. So if you do feel like that, and if you argue quite often and you're always the one being the bigger person, then maybe it is time to just lovingly just move on and release that person, because it's not right. No one can say that you're always wrong and I'm always right. It's like, that's never the case. It doesn't matter who you are and what you know and how grown you are and how clever you are. You're always going to get some things wrong. You're always going to have some miscommunications, misunderstandings. Even if you just took what someone said wrong and then it's not necessarily your fault, you just took what they said wrong and then everything blew up. You can still, you just have to admit fault sometimes, and it can be difficult. It's difficult to say I was wrong, I'm sure. But yeah, no one is ever always in the right. That's just really not a grown mindset to have. Maya says, does my ex Samuel spy on me and why? Okay. So yes, so it does feel like recently this has reoccurred. It feels like there was taking a step away from that and kind of trying to move on from that, and now it's back, so unfortunately. And also, Maya, would it be a good idea to travel to Chile this year and visit my family? Okay. I guess a yes on that, so that's really nice. And Kita, Will my sister understand that she shouldn't indulge in these relationship type of things yet? Okay. So I'm getting a no on that. So maybe there might be something to talk about there, because even though a relationship wasn't coming through with that, maybe it's there is something that's on its way there, you know? Maybe it's really, really casual, but it's getting there. So there might be something to think about with that. Kevin, why did I unfollow Tanya? Is it related to me? Okay. So I'm guessing a yes. I'm trying to get more through about that, but I'm guessing yes. Rain, how is Y feeling towards M? Getting really positive energy with that one. Like a lot of care, a lot of like attraction and things like that. Earth magic for Damini. River and movement. So we're having movement with this one. So river and movement. So this can be about, you know, the momentum of the journey. So like we look at the horse totem animal kind of thing, you know. It's making sure. So it doesn't really matter if you're, you know, it's a very smooth running river, or it's flowing a bit quicker, getting towards maybe even a waterfall, you know. What this is about is momentum. So it can include like emotions. So it can be about, you know, sometimes we can lovingly let our emotions guide us, you know. We always feel like letting our emotions guide us is a bad thing, but when you're following your positive emotions, things that bring you love, things that bring you joy, that momentum is a positive momentum. Often following our love and our positive energies, our positive emotions, are the things that take us down those more creative paths or spiritual paths, you know. So following your positive emotions is a good message in this card, but also it's just about movement. So you're still on the journey, you haven't reached the destination, don't worry, you're still on the journey, but don't be still. Do some sort of momentum towards where you want to go, even if it's really, really small steps, you know. You're doing like one baby step a day, that's fine. Just don't be still. Put some action in. Kevin, how am I sprint, presentation, examination, go in office next month? I'm still not sure what I'm going to present, okay? So it's there's positive energy, but it's kind of like when we have like negative, neutral, positive, it's very close to the neutral mark. So I would maybe, when you do think about that, when you do make your decisions, maybe it will increase. Maybe you'll think of something really great that's, you know, going to be great, but you're just kind of hovering above neutral at the moment. So, you know, best of luck and manifest that to be even better, I would say. Jasmine, with the 55% of him that wants me to leave him alone, what are his reasons behind this, okay? It's this decision and thinking, you know, if I've made this decision, I need to go with her. I need to not have anything else. I need to, you know, not have something kind of hovering at the side of me. I need to just go forward with this. Maya, my friend Anna Sophia, what does she think of me, okay? So I'm getting really positive energy there. They're seeing you in a little bit of like a inspirational light as well. Like it could be, maybe it's just your general personality, but it could be something specific that you do or that you've achieved that is kind of like a looking up to you a little bit. Rain says, may I have a love card for my connection with Y? Of course. Oh, we have codependency. It says addictions are affecting your romantic life. So, of course, when we think of addictions, we always think of like alcoholics or, you know, smokers or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean like that. I mean, it can in some cases, but it can be codependency, or it can simply be about negative habits, negative repeating cycles. So you might not be codependent. You might not, you know, feel like you need each other or feel at a loss when you're not with each other. It might not necessarily be that, but there could be, you know, a negative cycle of you keep going for the same kind of person and it's not working out, or they keep going for the same kind of person and it's not working out. There's some negative cycle within a relationship that needs to release a little bit in order to bring that union together, or to salvage that union, or to fix that union, or to just bring positivity to that union in some way. So there's some kind of negative repeating cycle on either your side or their side that would need to be fixed before this would work out a bit more as a connection. So I hope that makes sense. Ankita, so does she even blame me for what happened, or maybe thinks I spoiled the situation back then? Okay. Yeah, I would say so. Maya says a love card for the person I'm thinking about. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So, of course, it's about being present with this person, you know, just being present, taking your time, not trying to rush things, not worrying about the past too much, but attraction. So if you're not sure if they're attracted to you, it's saying that they are. So yes. Guided by Universe, hello, welcome. Oh, it's nice to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you for ages. Guided by Universe. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help to bring you together. So yes, calling in your soulmate is always a good one. But if we keep our prayers, affirmations, and visualizations, or any manifestations up, we're making sure we're kind of keeping on that path, making sure we're on that one focused path towards that soulmate, not ending up veering off on a different tangent. Champsy's in-person meeting is great. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Yeah, I do feel that a lot more. Like I said, there's always possibility of online when, you know, as like I said, we cast a wider net when we do that. But yeah, I really feel in person for you. Ankita, does she even actually love me like her own sister? Like, does she like her own sister? Like, does she want me to be more in his life, where I focus on him just like I do care about Monu, or he likes to maintain distance? Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a bit more maintain distance kind of energy with that at the moment. Guided by Universe, how is E feeling about me? Okay. There seems to be a growing energy here, so it seems kind of like in that neutral to positive realm where it's positive but it's not super strong, but there's like an active kind of upward trajectory going from that, so it feels almost like there's a growing energy thinking about you or reaching out to you or being attracted to you or something like that. Like it's growing a bit. That's kind of how it feels. Like it's not just like a feeling that I'm tapping into, it's like a expanding, like a movement of that. So that's interesting. Maya, love card from the second person I'm thinking about. Okay. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So if you are wanting this person or focusing a bit more on this person, they may be brought together to you with divine timing, and they will be worth waiting for. So at least with this person, you're getting a message that there's something there, there's something worthy there, something worth it. Jasmine, with the 45% other, than the obvious, thinking he might go back on his decision. What is his reasoning for not wanting me to leave him alone? That's the unsureness you were talking about. Yeah, so what's his reasoning for not wanting me to leave him alone? Other than that he might go back, yeah, but he's not, even though he's made the decision, it's like he's not fully really made it yet. He's so, I don't even know what to say or what to call it, you know? He's just so slow, hesitant, and all those things. But yes, let's see. So it's really, I feel like it kind of reminds me of the channeling, because it's like this energy of, why do I feel the strong attraction or the strong connection to this person that I don't really know that much, and you know, yeah, like I just don't really know that much is kind of the energy. It's like how I describe it when I see this in twin flame relationships is like they feel. So when we say twin flame, that's a connection that comes with an emotion, it comes with a magnetic attraction, it comes with these emotions and feelings. It's not just a word, you know? When someone's in that connection, it's not just a word. But the person that doesn't understand the word twin flame, they still feel the feelings, the connection, the magnet, if you will. And I feel like that's it. I feel like, although he doesn't put a word to what this thing is, it's more like, it's really odd to feel this way about someone that, you know, I haven't spent that much time with. Overall, you know, that's how it feels. It's almost like, it's like when we doubt our own intuition. It's having these strange feelings that are just telling us something about something we know nothing about, and we doubt it. We think like, that seems odd. That's really what I feel with him. It's like he feels it, but he doesn't understand it. Ankita, is it better that I never message Megha again after wishing her a birthday? Okay. Yes, I would say yes. I feel what it feels like is it's a really nice gesture to say, like you've got the love card. It's like a nice gesture to say, I am here, I am thinking about you, I haven't forgotten about you, you're within my, you know, my realm of my heart chakra, you're there, you know, it is like that gesture of love. But then leaving it, I would say it's like, you know, the ball's in your court now, do with that what you will. If you're not going to say anything back, then it's your loss, you know. Love card for Kevin. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So it's all about, of course, flirty energy, playful energy, light-hearted energy, tapping into the inner child, joking around, you know, tapping into your own humour, making jokes about things, and just being a bit more light-hearted. Maybe there's a serious energy that, especially when we're working or studying or things like that, we do need to counteract that very serious energy sometimes. Ankita, will she come back herself to me? If you see a time frame, please say. Okay. So I'm guessing yes, but I am feeling like a 4 to 5 month time frame, so it's not exactly quick. Jamini, will it be a good idea if I join the gym? Would I be able to achieve my fitness goals? I'm kind of a lazy person when it comes to health, so will it be worth it? I kind of feel you on that. I mean, the gym, I feel like the gym is so, I don't know, I feel like it's scary because everyone knows all about the machines, and I would just be like, I don't know how to use this. But yes, let me check on that for you. So we have, will it be a good idea if I join the gym? Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing a yes. So it does seem to be in positive energy for you. I keep thinking about it myself lately. I do keep thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I will. Ankita, is my sister mature enough to know that she shouldn't take some major bad steps? Like, is she really able to handle those things? Okay. So overall, I do get a yes. But I think one thing we have to kind of realise as well, whether we're sisters or parents or friends, is you can always give advice, you could always be there for people, but they will always make their own mistakes. They will always learn something the hard way, you know? And that is just life, and some of those things, if you give someone really great advice and they don't take it and they make that mistake anyway, sometimes it was just part of their life path to learn that lesson, you know? So it's definitely to be protective and to give that advice and be protective. Definitely, if you're doing that 100%, that's great. But you know, don't beat yourself up too much or think that you could have done more if they still make that mistake, because it's their life lesson to learn, you know? Guided by Universe says, will I get a new job before the year ends? So I get really positive energy for you around the end of November. I do get really positive energy there. So I feel like there's a good potential in that, especially at that time. Of course, that's not to say wait until then to apply for things. But I mean, it could be that the interview is then, it could be that the position starts then. So we have to be mindful and look out for those opportunities. But November is like really high energy. So best of luck to you. Rain says, is why falling in love with M? So, although I do feel that really deep care energy, so when we get into this really deep care energy, it's kind of that energy where it can have an upward trajectory to, you know, from a deep sense of care, to love, to feeling in love. We're in love, you know, we're up there. I feel like it's possible that I can go up this trajectory, but I wouldn't say it's at love yet. I wouldn't say that. But I do feel like it's a possibility. Guided by Universe, will I travel somewhere soon? Okay. So I'm feeling like it's more likely to be next year. I do feel like it's more likely to be next year. But if you are feeling like going anywhere, it's not to be discouraged. Lovely, amazing for you. Yeah. Oh, where do you want to go? I love travel so much. Thinking about things to do, actually. It's my birthday next week. It's my birthday, I think next Friday. It's the 26th, I just can't remember what day that's on. Yes, it's my birthday next Friday. So I'm going away. I'm going to Budapest just for a few days at the beginning of next week. And I'm going to stream whilst I'm there. Hopefully the internet should be good enough. For the first time with my small crystal ball, you know, the little mini one that I bought. I showed some of you guys. It's like a much smaller version of this. I have not used it yet, so I'm going to take it away with me, and I'm going to stream whilst I'm there, willing that the connection is good enough, I'm hoping. But yeah, I hope you get to travel wherever you want to go. I hope you get to go all the places that you want to go, guided by Universe. But it does look more prominently like next year for you. Kevin sees Earth Magic. Yes, of course. There we are. Oh, sorry, I think my deck is upside down. Crystals and focus. Okay, so of course we're being given focus. So although you're being guided to crystals, you might want to focus more with you know, crystals for the third eye or crystals for focus. There's one. It's like pale blue and it has dark blue lines through it. It's not agate. It's a different one. It begins with D, but that one's really great for focus. I use that when I'm trying to learn something new or really need to focus on something, or even sometimes if I need memory, like to help my memory. So it's kind of funny that I can't remember what the stone is called when I use it for my memory, but it's a blue stone. I could find it. I think it's like D-U... I really want to find out, but I don't want to go off the chat just in case. Let me just see if I can find it quickly, because I could post it in the chat. The name was for something else. So I typed the name in and it did come up with a blue stone, but it wasn't the one I was thinking of, I didn't think. Oh, it's going to annoy me now. It's going to annoy me that I can't remember it. But yeah, if you do work with crystals closely and you think, you know, maybe you do want a crystal for focus, do feel free to reach out to me, because I will find it. I have it somewhere. I have it written somewhere. I use it often, but you know, I'm just so used to it. I'm sure that's Domo. Wait, that. Yeah. Yeah, that must be it. It must just look a bit... I don't have a raw one, I only have tumbled. So, oh, I can't comment in this chat. Anyway, I would recommend this one. I'll comment it here. I would recommend it if you need focus on anything, or like to help your memory, like if you're studying or anything. But I still spell it wrong. This is the one I recommend. But anyway, for Kevin, you got crystals and focus. So even third eye stones and things like that can help. You know, this could suggest that you do need to focus on something, like you really need to have pinpointed focus, maybe towards a manifestation, even if it's not for like study and work and that kind of path. Maybe it's a love path, maybe it's your spiritual path. But really focusing and keeping, you know, pinpointed onto that path is a good thing. And, you know, maybe there's a crystal that you feel more drawn to using. You're being suggested crystals. Third eye crystals are always good. Maybe you are being suggested to, sorry. Maybe there's a crystal you feel more guided to use for that. But yeah, I do like making suggestions when I think it might help, if you do need that. And Keita says, will I get a good articleship after the exam clearance? Okay. So I guess a yes on that. Kevin, does A want Tanya D to talk to me so that A and I can meet or talk? I guess a no on that, actually. Rain seems to definitely resonate with the codependency card. Well, you know, at least I'm glad it resonates. If we're kind of, you know, shines a light on something, even if it's not the greatest of things, it's always good to know that at least that we are resonating, we're, you know, connecting and picking up the right things for you. And Keita, does Shivam help me only for the sake of his elder brother and not for me? I guess a no on that, actually. And a card for my friend Jyoti. She is stuck in a toxic relationship. Okay, so let's do, maybe we'll do a chakra, because sometimes if we're stuck in a connection, clearance with a certain chakra or work on a certain chakra that might need it can help us to release and have our forward momentum. So, oh, we have trick. Oh, okay, you can't see that because there's still, although I don't have a green screen, well, I still have one, but I don't use it. there's still a green screen effect on, so it doesn't show the green properly. But this is the heart chakra, so I'm just saying that because the outside of the card is the colour of the chakra. That looks like it's, well, it looks see-through, I guess, but that's green. So it's trickery of the heart chakra, so that's interesting because you're saying that she's stuck in a toxic relationship. This is exactly the kind of card you would get if you were stuck in a toxic relationship. Trickery of the heart chakra. Now sometimes this card just says you have an open heart, you have you're very empathetic, you're very open, you're very caring. Someone might use your kindness as weakness. There might be trickery on your path. Usually it can mean that for a lot of people, but if you're in a toxic relationship, then you are still very likely as well to pull this card, because someone could be in a toxic relationship. There's usually something like gaslighting going on, or manipulation of in some way, some kind of abuse, whether it's however it manifests, even if it's just like we'd say mental or verbal, not being very nice with their words or shouting kind of thing. There often seems to be some level of that. So trickery does come up when there's manipulation and things like that going on. So the heart chakra might need work, because sometimes these people who get into toxic relationships, or not necessarily who get into them, but who have difficulty leaving sometimes, or don't feel like they need to leave, it can be because their heart chakra is so open. People with very open heart chakras who are very empathetic, like most of us here, we always want to see the good in people. No matter how they treated us or what they've done, we'll believe that they want to change when they say they want to change, or believe that they will change when they say they want to change. Oftentimes when people say they want to change, they actually mean it. They just don't have the capability, they're just not strong enough to do it. Or they're just too stuck in their ways and their habits. So when our heart chakra is too open, we can open ourselves up to we're seeing the good in people too much. We're seeing good where there isn't good sometimes, or we're wishing there was good. We're seeing the potential. We see potential oftentimes instead of who someone actually is in that moment. So that actually can be guidance with this when it's a toxic relationship, that she might need to close down her heart chakra a little bit. She might need to put a guard up a little bit. We always talk about opening chakras, but I personally talk about balancing chakras, because our chakras shouldn't be too closed or too open. They should be balanced. When the heart chakra is too open, you get walked over, you get used, you get taken advantage of. So you want it to be balanced. And so this is what this person probably needs, is balancing the heart chakra. So not only do they see that, the good is not, the potential isn't necessarily the good, they might see that this person as well isn't loving them as much as they're loving them, if that makes sense. They're not getting as much love as they're giving. And they might also see their own self-love in a better light as well. Like that they are worth more, because if she's not in a great relationship, then she is worth more than that. Kevin says, what was A expecting to gain after unfollowing Tanya? Just drama. Okay. It's pushing things aside and not wanting to deal with them. So I don't really feel like I feel almost like it's action without thinking of what consequences are. It feels more like that rather than wanting a certain outcome. It's like not really thinking about consequences or, what might happen after. Damini says, should I join music classes just to distract my mind from routine? I love singing, I just don't know how to sing. And I had joined a music class before, but it was hardly for a few days and I left. That's one thing I think we have to think about as well, is when, learning to sing singing is something that everybody can do. Of course, there are people who are highly, highly talented, and it can be very natural to them. So they might be very talented at singing right away when they're young, and they might not really need much training for their voice, But everybody can get to that point. It's just some of us need more practice than others, And I think there are examples of this. I think I've only heard this story. I'm not like an Ed Sheeran fan, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I think that Ed Sheeran didn't used to be able to sing, and then he had lessons and kind of just really stuck at it and really tried because he really wanted to. Apparently, that's the story I've heard. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't listen to his music, so I just heard that story. But you know, it's just a case of sticking with it. But yes, let me see. I'll look into the ball, but I think yes, I think you should. And yes, I'm getting like a positive, almost like a yellow haze around it, like a bright yellow, positive, vibrant energy. I would say yes. Ankita, will I get exemption in any subject? It's a special grade. Only 19% of students get 40 plus marks, so it's special to get 60 plus. That is exemption. Okay. I'm actually getting a no on that, but I would say, you know, keep studying, and you know, I feel like you know, maybe it's possible that you can manifest it. I mean, I'm sure. You know, I always think like you're just as capable as being able to do things that anybody else can do. I'm sure you can do it. So all I'm getting a no for at the moment. I would say just keep going, go for it. You know, don't go in with the mindset that you're not going to get it. Manifest it. You know, focus on it. I'm sure you can. Getting a no right now, but I'm sure that you can. Jasmine says, why have I been hearing the song by Trey? I can't help but wait. Okay. I feel like that's your higher self. I feel like there's some kind of, it's almost like there's some part of this song that's resonating with your current energy, where you're currently at. It feels like your higher self. Ankita, does she even think I'm bad for his elder brother? Card regarding his feelings for this, please. Okay. Trust. So it could be that there's a lack of trust in you, and that's why this is coming up. Like maybe he does need to trust you more, but it could also be, you know, in these situations that you're seeing, in these connections that you're seeing, that you should trust as well, that it will all work out and manifest for the best. Because sometimes we're always going to have issues and think that people think things about people, and also think that people think things about us, you know. So I feel like maybe there's some trust needed for the growth of these connections, or the manifestation of the future paths of these connections. But also feel that, you know, maybe this person needs to trust you a little bit more. Maybe there's a lack of trust towards you at the moment, and they need to trust you a little bit more. And Keisha, I just saw that. Who cares about exemption if I am passing? Yeah, but I'm sure that it's I'm sure it feels good to achieve that, you know. But yeah, absolutely. If you pass, you pass, and that is great. Kevin, can I get a description of the person with whom I might be in a good relationship with by January 2026? Since Matchsticks said yes. Okay. So I'm getting male, very short brown hair, and brown eyes. This person's like, I would say like just a little bit over average in terms of like build. So not like super slim, but not, you know, I wouldn't say overweight or anything like that, but just not super slim. Also not super tall, I would say. I'd actually say like maybe 5'7" or something like that. I'm getting the feeling like, as I'm looking at this, like a little bit taller than me, something like that. Yeah, I'm just getting like a casual dress sense. I'm not really picking much else up. I'm not really seeing anything that's too standing out. Yeah, that's all I'm getting for that. Thank you, Tara. So 4 to 5 months is like my birthday time. So maybe returning that happy birthday and then finally things coming together. Rain says, how do I heal from this looming depression because of the heartbreak? Oh, Rain. I want to hug you. Yeah, so I do feel like a lot of self-focus. So I do feel like in the self-focus kind of aspect, it does come up with kind of things like, you know, being mindful of what is you're putting into your body as well. But I don't just mean like foods, you know. Of course, there's like eating better food is going to make us feel better, not like, you know, heavy or anything like that. So there is, I suppose, a bit of like making sure we're getting good nutrients, you know, because mind, body, and spirit are all connected. But also in what you're taking in. So, for example, like content as well is one where when we're not feeling great, sometimes we do underestimate. Like I was talking to I think Damini before about the singing. Sometimes we do underestimate how, you know, when I drive in my car on my own and I just sing at the top of my voice, I feel so good. And I always think like, I think that's one of the reasons why I love driving, even driving if I'm just on my own, because I can just put my own music on, whatever I want, and just sing it. You know, it's like, it's nice to listen to other people's music when they're in the car, but being alone and just singing at the top of my voice is just so freeing, and I really love it. So in the same way as we underestimate that sometimes, I feel like sometimes we underestimate about the content. So there was a time when I took in a lot of like true crime content, and it really lowers your vibration. It really makes you feel not happy. It affects your dreams as well, and things like that. And then I would shift to, you know, comedies and things that I really loved, and I think that we underestimate how happy comedies can make us. But, you know, taking in happy content, basically, you know, none of that fear-mongering type of stuff. All happy content, whatever comedians you like or films you like, things like that. So I would say not underestimating what the other things we take in that aren't just food as well, but I think a lot of self-focus. So things like, it could be just treating yourself, you know, maybe getting a massage, going to a spa, getting your hair done, you know, anything that will make you feel really pampered as well. So even, you know, a shopping spree, you know, treat yourself. You know, tap into those luxuries of life, those material things, you know. So I feel like a lot of self-focus is really needed, but I'm also getting a guidance of, it's like, just because it's self-focus doesn't mean, sometimes when we have self-focus, it's kind of that hermit mode energy where we want to meditate a lot on our own, be on our own. I'm not getting that energy. It's putting yourself first and focusing on yourself in that way, but still spending a lot of time around friends and family, and, you know, that nice compatible energy with people that we already love, or already connected to, not discounting that, not closing yourself off to other people that you have love energy with, you know. So I know that maybe that's like really basic advice, but I do think sometimes we forget those things, you know. Like I rarely forgot how, when I was into that true crime part of my, well, I say this is part of my life, but, you know, that little period where I was watching that, I did kind of forget how much what we take in really affects us, you know. And Kita, I had explained that because 60 is like so low marks as per Western standards, it would look like a fool. Yeah, I get what you mean. Jasmine, how are things going with him and her attempting to work things out? I know I ask all the time, I just can't wrap my head around how nuts all of this is. I know. So how are things going with him and her attempting to work things out? It feels kind of samey, like it doesn't really feel like there's much of an improvement there. It doesn't really feel like much of an improvement. It just feels like he's kind of accepting that as the decision, but there isn't much change. It still feels like there's a bit of disconnect. Like, we're in a relationship, but we're very distant. We're very going with the motions and not really it's not like really tapping into love, you know? It's not really tapping into romance or any passion, you know? Kevin says, where I might meet this person with whom I might be in a good relationship through office, dating site, online, or in public. Online, I get online. Chakra card for Rain. Vanity. Vanity in the throat chakra. So, vanity in the throat chakra. So, the throat chakra, of course, it's all about our self-expression and communication. So, I suppose it's kind of a mindfulness of vanity in some way. So, if it's you could be in the throat chakra bragging, or even expressing yourself in a way that maybe it just comes across as vanity. Maybe it's not really vanity, you know. But so I suppose it's like a mindful energy of how you come across to others, or how if you are particularly being vain in some way, maybe. But it could also be other people as well. So it's our throat chakra is about how we express ourselves, but also how we take other people in. So it can even be guidance that you might see someone and they might seem super surface level, super shallow. You might feel that way, like they're vain, they're shallow. Don't take them at that value. So do be mindful if you're coming across someone, you know, maybe you're dating, maybe you're meeting new friends. If you do come across someone who seems that way, take a moment, get to know them a little bit deeper, because it's kind of a message that there's more to it, there's more depth. If we look at it, you know, this person, there's the superficial energy of the people there, just with their drinks and things, and then there's this person with their, you know, their crystal, and they're more in their spiritual realm. It's about that depth. It's about getting to know that person a bit better and not being, not judging too soon, basically. I know you don't judge as such, but not feeling like you understand them too soon. Getting to know them on a bit of a deeper level, even if they seem a little bit superficial or vain. Because I feel more like it's linked to someone else rather than you. But, you know, maybe you could be a bit mindful if you do come across that way to someone. I don't know. Yeah, my birthday, 26th of September on Friday. Does she even understand now that Em was only playing with her? With him and Kita. Em was only playing with him. Okay. I'm guessing a yes on that, actually. Damini, yeah, it's my birthday month. Jasmine says, I know you enjoy your birthday, sending you early happy birthday vibes. Thank you so much. I probably actually will be online on will stream on my birthday. I might do a little stream and connect in, because we're kind of celebrating at the beginning of the week. So yeah. So celebrating at the beginning of the week with my man, and then celebrating on the weekend with my mother. So I actually have the middle and my actual birthday free. So I'll probably be online, to be honest. Earth magic for Rain. Eagle. So we have the eagle and communion. So the eagle is about so there's raising to a high vibration and there's seeing from a higher perspective. So you might be the bigger person, you might be the mediator, you might understand both sides of an argument or a conflict, so you might be the one to bring it down, to connect these people or calm them down, if that makes sense. But also with it being communion, you might see from a higher perspective in terms of like a connection or something that's going on in your own life where you again, you're being called to be the bigger person, unfortunately. So you might have to hold space for someone, or, you know, maybe forgive someone a little bit, you know, or just you're kind of you're in the driver's seat a little bit. Maybe they're not pulling their weight at the moment, but they will eventually. But you are the bigger person at the moment. You're seeing from the higher perspective. It's kind of the energy of you being stronger, but also the really positive energy of you raising to that higher vibration, and that can manifest as a relationship getting to a better level, you know, friendship getting to a better level, a job getting to a better level, any part of your life path getting to a better level, basically. Jasmine, when should I start allowing Randall to get our son? Okay. So actually getting 2 to 3 months with that one. Ella, hello and welcome. Can I please ask you to see if there's any chance I can pass the Dharma exam this Tuesday if I continue to study these days, or should I try for next time? Okay. Tuesday, okay. So there does seem to be a chance here with this. The chance doesn't seem like it's it's more prominent, so it is like maybe around 60-65%, so it is the most prominent path. Of course we want like 90-100, you know, to be, you know, spot on with that, but it does look like it's the more prominent that you will. So I would say you could go for it Tuesday if you're feeling confident enough with 65%, but it's the more prominent path, so I would say best of luck, and I think you can do it, but we'll give you that percentage so you can, you know, think. Do I feel like maybe if I wait a little bit longer, the chance will go up? Probably. But yeah, I still think it's more prominent that you will on Tuesday. So best of luck. Damina, you're very welcome. So we're probably going to be here for another 40 minutes. So get any more questions that you want in. Let's see how far down. The chat isn't that far down, so that's fine. Ella says, how is Andre feeling about me now? Okay. So I feel pretty samey, but I do feel like there's a softening a little bit, and I also feel like with the softening comes a kind of minimizing of that hesitation or doubt kind of energy that comes up. And I do feel like hesitation and doubt energy is just linked to, you know, my own mistakes, my own doing, you know. I don't really think it's linked to you, so it makes sense if, you know, if he's coming around, if he's kind of realizing that you're forgiving, then I think that will minimize naturally anyway. But yeah, so it's looking a bit better, I would say. There isn't too much change, but the change is positive. Yeah, I was really thinking it was a different stone, because I'm sure my stone and the pictures online just don't look right. But when I bought it from the store, that was definitely the name. That was definitely the name, I'm sure. I'm just going to check one more time, because I feel like I want to know now. And maybe it is, but my one looks different. My one looks kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like I just want to make sure that I'm not lying, that I'm not saying that that's certain when it's not. I don't know. I wish I could find it. I wish I could find like a picture that actually looks like my one. It's light blue and the lines are dark blue. That's why I think it might be different from the one that I sent. I feel like I see it a lot in crystal stores, so it's not like it's unpopular or anything. I'll stop looking in a minute. I know, I'm just kind of wasting time. It must be. It must be that one. Yeah, I'm not, I'm into crystals, but I'm not super, crystal girly, you know? Ella, can I have a chakra card? Yes, of course. So sorry about that. Wisdom, and again, we have the heart chakra, because the green screen effect, can't see the green probably, but it is the heart chakra. So wisdom and the heart chakra is a really nice card, because it is kind of suggesting that you're having a lot of growth at your heart chakra. You're becoming a wiser, more empathetic, more caring, more. It's like a growth of your emotional intelligence. You're really growing as a person, but it's particularly heart chakra activations, you know. So it's a really nice card to have, but also it's always to be mindful of that, to make sure the chakra is not too open. It's balanced, and you're still protecting yourself. But yes, with wisdom that would come, because you're being more discerning, but also still very loving. So that's nice. And Kita says yes. That's 100. What? Oh, always shout and create a scene on the road. Oh my gosh. No, that's not a great. I think people should at least be able to control their emotions in some way, you know? It's like making a scene is just, yeah, really not very grown as a person. Jasmine, should I agree to share parenting with Randall and our son staying with him 3 days a week? Okay. I'm getting a yes on that though. Rain says, is there still time to apply to the travel reporter position? Is it a good idea to? Timing seems unclear, but I'm getting a really vibrant yes to a good idea. So I would say go for it. Ankita, oh yes. Kevin, does A want me to meet or talk to me? What does he want by talking about me? Okay. So I'm guessing a no, wanting to meet you, unfortunately. I feel like being a bit kind of not very nice and talking and being a bit like kind of gossipy makes him feel a little bit better. Almost like painting you in a bad light makes him feel better about the fact that he never had the kind of confidence to go for what he really wanted, if that makes sense. So it's definitely, I mean, it feels a little bit like an ungrown person thing to do. Rain says, beautiful advice, thank you. I know it's very generic sometimes, I think, you know, sometimes things come through that can be a bit generic, but I also feel like sometimes we need that, you know? It's like when you get a message to trust your intuition, and you think, well, yeah, I should always do that, but I don't, so I did need that reminder at this time. You know, I've been doubting my intuition for a while, you know, so sometimes it's the things we know, but we need confirmation, I suppose. Jasmine says, should I put Randall on our son's school records and allow him to pick him up and drop him off to school? I do get a yes on that as well. Kevin says, is the person with whom I might be in a relationship with by January and Aruda, because I feel like you are rarely describing him. So I'm not getting confirmation on that, so I don't want to say no, just in case, but I'm not getting a yes or anything really come through. It's quite murky, but it's interesting. If it describes that person to like a T, then yeah. I mean, I wish I could see something like really, sometimes you might say, that they have really straight teeth, or, they have some freckles, or, something that's a bit more pinpointed, a bit more unique to them that can really point them out, but I'm not seeing anything like that for them at the moment. Ankita, does Shivam get jealous of bonding with me and my older brother, or does he also think I am bad for him as well? Okay. And there does feel to be a bit of jealousy there, I would say yes. And Rain, does the vanity card point to my vanity or my miscommunication of someone else's vanity? It does seem to be linked to someone else, which I did kind of feel when I was reading that as well. And Rain says, how is Messiah feeling towards me? Gets a really positive energy. I do feel like there could be an element of like out of sight, out of mind, maybe at times, but there is like a positive energy. Jasmine, oh geez, why is it coming so far out as when I should allow Randall to get our son? I'm trying to not to negatively influence the judge's decision. That would seem like waiting wood. What's the reason I need to tell the judge as to why I haven't allowed Randall to see our son? That will make it a bad reason in court. Yeah, I really feel like the other replies kind of really contradict the timing that came up. I really feel like there's a contradiction in those. So let's double check for that one. Yeah, I really do feel like there's a disconnect with things because of what really should be done in terms of the best thing to do and what Randall really deserves, and then on the other side, it's what's really deserved for everybody and what would be like 100% best, and then there's the energy of, well, what you have to do to, I suppose, jump through legal hoops in a sense, So I would say to lean more to the other advice rather than the timing. That would be my suggestion in terms of how you're saying, how you're going to look to the judge, the legal things. I would say the other questions, the other answers are more prominent and more linked to that. So yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Kevin says, what possibilities do you see with Mayor for me? Relationship, dating, or just casual? I'm feeling dating. I'm getting dating for that. Jasmine, what is the reason? Oh, sorry. I think that was yeah, part of the other one. Ankita, am I going to get 150 to 160, 160 to 170, or 170 plus in total in exam? Okay. So, and it's definitely feeling like around 160, like around that kind of mark. I would probably lean to 160 to 170 for that. Maybe that's me, like, kind of wishing and willing it to be on the higher side, but definitely like 160 is kind of coming up. And Rain, but when should I apply to the travel reporter position? I kind of want to lose weight before I do, but I'm wondering if time is of the essence. Okay. Yeah, I would personally say that you don't have to wait. I would say that there is an element of timing that may be important, so I would say to kind of try to grasp it. Especially since, yeah, a specific time frame for like when you won't be able to does not come up, so I would certainly say to grasp it. But any kind of, journey for weight loss and health and all of those things, I'm really willing and supporting you guys on that, because I'm, as you know, I've been doing that myself for a while. Going up and down a little bit to where I want to be, and then I pretty much going to be about maintaining where I want to be, because, I have specific size clothes in some clothes, and some of them, when I put on a little bit, I'm like, oh, I don't want to wear that now. So yeah, I might totally understand that, really wishing and willing that we all get to where we want to be, but stay there as well. My issue is kind of staying there. I'm always like kind of, it's moving up and down, Let's see. Thank you, Rain. Rain says, should I go? Thank you, Rain. I greatly appreciate that super sticker as well. Thank you so much. Love, light, and blessings. I was saying thank you to you, saying it's wonderful and heartfelt, but yeah, I just saw that super sticker, so thank you. Guys, I really, really appreciate any super stickers, any super chats, anything that you do send, I greatly appreciate. It's really not necessary, but I do really, really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support to the channel. So shout out to Tam and Rain specifically for the super chat and super sticker. It's, I'm so grateful. But shout out to everybody, because we're all members here, so I really, really appreciate that as well, of course. So Rain says, should I go to the kimono class on Tuesday morning? Okay. I'm getting a yes on that. And the cards for today are Chakra, Earth Magic, Love, Spellcasting, and Shadow Healing. Jasmine, within 2 to 3 month time frame of no contact between Randall and our son, court is December 8th. So it's coming up as keeping him from seeing him until after the court ruling on that date. Yeah, I was really feeling December with it as well when that was coming through. And that is 3 months, isn't it? October, November, December. Yeah, it's pretty much. Well, just over, because we're midway through to September. Yeah, so it really seemed like, I would say like end of November, beginning of December was really the kind of time that was coming up. But yeah, I think if, especially if you're given legal advice that goes against that timing, I would say it might be best just to take it, because it is a lot. Like I was talking about, and I don't want to like go off on a tangent again, but when I was talking about like morality and like what really should happen, like spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and then legally, it's like they're not the same, unfortunately. So Rain, is the Vanjie card telling me to be less judgmental of seemingly vain people in general, or is it a particular person it's pointing to? Okay. Yeah, it seems like a particular person that will be within this current chapter. So I feel like you may only just meet them, or maybe you've met them very, very recently. Ankita, will Shiva go to Puja with us? If yes, will he be gentle and kind to me, just like last year? I guess yes and yes with that. And will he ever actually forget everything and be just like before? And I guess a yes with that as well. With so much question for Shiva, I guess you already know I miss the lovely, quiet. I'm not sure what you mean, but any questions you want to ask, you're absolutely welcome, of course. Jasmine, you're saying allow him to just see him and not wait. Is he going to give him back, or am I going to have to get the police involved to give him back? Yeah, so I will check on that, but one thing I will say is if you do have to get the police involved to get him back, we don't want that, because that's just not going to be great for him. The son, I mean, not Randall. But maybe that will go in your favour in court, so, there could be a silver lining there, but of course, and we don't want that to happen, we definitely don't want that to happen. So let's say, Will he give him back, just as agreed? So I do get a yes on that. The only thing I would say, like, I'm getting a yes on it, but I'm definitely feeling the not wanting to, the idea of not doing it, the not wanting to in his mind. So I guess there is kind of something to be mindful about, like, obviously the reason why you're asking that. But I'm getting a yes on it, so it does look for the best. Rain, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. That's really sweet to say. Thank you. Ankita, so if he is jealous, if I start pampering him like a brother, will Shivam start loving me back, or will he stay or will he stay ungrateful as usual? Okay. I am getting it opening up a little bit more. I am getting a bit of a softening with that, so yes, it does seem so. Shadow healing for Ankita. Disapproval. Showing your dissatisfaction will not earn you any brownie points, and this may be a battle not worth fighting. There is nothing to be gained but wasted energy. So if you are feeling disappointed or disapproving of someone at this time, in this current chapter, you know, it's not to, you shouldn't always just accept people, and you know, if they disappoint you, of course, there's a lot of times when you should say, and you should be like, I didn't like that, I'm not happy with that, but at the moment it seems like showing dissatisfaction towards a certain situation that's going on at the moment is just not for the best, and that you should just kind of be the bigger person and move past it, I suppose. But you definitely shouldn't always do that, you know. We're within our right to say, like, you know, I'm not happy with that, I deserve to be treated better, and all those things. Sid, thank you very much for the super chat, I greatly appreciate that. Will my PIP be completely stopped if I am not on meds for my fibromyalgia when I have my next review? I'm actually getting a no on that, so it seems like energy has changed in your favour with that one, because I do believe we've checked that before and we got a yes. So best of luck to you for that one. I really hope that your money is not stopped, you know? So yeah, we're getting a yes though, so that's good. Sorry, getting a no, that it won't be stopped. Sorry if I confused you there. Let's see. Kevin, how does near future look like for me with Aniruda? Can I expect something? Okay. At the moment, it seems very casual. It just seems very casual, very nice, very calm. That's what I would say. Always worth checking back in on it. Maybe that could change a little bit, but that's how it looks at the moment. Sorry, did I skip? Did I skip that before? Because I know I did Ankita's shadow healing, so sorry if I did skip that. Rain says shadow healing as well. Mystified. Some things should be left as a mystery to enable us to reflect on their meanings. Having a reason for everything takes away our ability to imagine. What if? You know? So yeah, some things should be left a mystery. I do agree with that. You know, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know the reason behind every single thing. Yeah. Jasmine. My spiritual aspects and this 3D reality is clashing in all areas of my life. Yeah, and it does. I feel like the systems that we have to be in, like societally, like I'm talking about, like the legal aspects as well, I feel like they make it difficult because a lot of legal things are very moral and do align with my spirituality. Obviously, I do not believe in murder, you know? But at the same time, it's like there definitely are things where it is just messed up. It's just not right, and we're not heard properly, and we're not. It just doesn't manifest in the way that it should. Things don't work in the way that they should. A lot of things like that with monetary systems as well. But you know, it definitely seems like something we're kind of balancing all the time. You know, trying to. Ankita, sorry, my phone screen is messed up. I mean, I mean, I want that lovely bond with my brother, Shivan, back. Okay. Do you have a time frame, like how long will it take? and if something specific I need to do. Okay, yeah, so how long will it take? Okay, let's look at that, and if there's anything specific. So I don't feel like there's anything specific as such, because like having that, I feel like it resonates with a card that we got for didn't we get like the stillness card, like reflecting? I feel a little bit like, well, I feel like it resonates with that kind of message anyway, because I feel like there's just some kind of reflection and maybe getting over things a little bit on his side, like kind of just moving past it, like having the enough distance from issues to kind of feel like, okay, I'm kind of over that now, that's fine. I just feel like time is needed. That's all I kind of feel. I don't feel like anything else specific other than time. So that takes us to your question of time. So let's look at that. I feel like around 9 weeks. 9 weeks is coming up. Let's see. Rain says a spellcasting card. And we have travel. How fitting. The card is telling you to go for that position. So yeah. I don't know if much more is needed on that, other than maybe if the position is filled or isn't available anymore. You're still being guided to travel. Travel. It's very nice. So actually it seems like on these member streams, on the early ones especially, always seems like we wind down just on time naturally, because we're kind of coming up to 2 hours. We have about 15 minutes left, and it's really winding down and quite close to the end, so that's nice. Of course, if you have a few more questions, you're very welcome. We do have about 10 more minutes, 10 to 15 more minutes, so don't worry about that. Jasmine, I think. Will my spiritual purpose always be available for me to turn it into my actual job when I am ready? I really want to do it, but I don't feel ready. I am working on it extremely slowly, but in the meantime, I feel like I have to rely on my side job for money. Is this true? Or is that aid job? I thought it was side job. Is my job a block? Okay. No, I'm definitely getting that really positive energy about having the job and doing it slowly. It really seems like a positive energy, and I think that maybe also, although it would be really positive and amazing if you could like do it like that, like tomorrow, you know, it would be amazing. I feel like as well, there's a lot of other things that are going on. So there's issues with Phil that are happening that might cause you some maybe feeling a bit down or something at times, but then there's also all of this going on with Randall at the moment. So I feel like your higher self, the guides, like everything, source energy, you know, is supportive of this, everything else going on. So I feel like the slow and steady approach is best right now. I mean, there might come a time where you suddenly think, oh, let's speed this up, you know, but yes, I think slow and steady at the moment. I think the main thing, it's just don't completely forget about it, you know? And Kita, the card get me confused, so was it like I shouldn't have confronted? I mean, you know, a card isn't really going to tell you that you shouldn't have done something that's in the past, you know? You know, if you've already done that, then that's okay, we're just moving forward from that. You know, and as well, you know, even though you're getting love, I mean, we can do things that aren't that great out of love, you know, or that people don't see as that great, you know. You know, a really extreme example would be like if someone was like a alcoholic, you know, if you stood in front of them, poured all that alcohol down the sink and like, I don't know, took them to therapy or something, I don't know, rehab, whatever it is, they wouldn't be happy with you, they'd hate you, but at the same time, you're doing it out of love, even though it seems negative to them. So sometimes confronting someone, or sometimes really expressing your feelings in a strong way, sometimes that is out of love, you know? So sorry for my really extreme example, but sometimes those strong emotions are out of love. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about what you've done in the past, but the love energy coming up and the love card coming up, I would just say, like you said, you know, saying happy birthday and just leaving it at that. That's love energy, you know. Rain says a card of my choice for my connection with Yuto. Let's do love and see what we get with that. Passion. Oh, we have passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So passion shows that there is still a connection, particularly maybe at that sacral chakra. Maybe there's some passionate, maybe a bit of intimate attraction still going on there. So it's kind of pointing to there still being some element of attraction there, at least. With passion, you would say it's at least attraction. Could even be some deeper feelings, but there's at least attraction there. Jasmine. Oh, sorry, that's the end of that one. Kevin, will A come to know that I went to see a movie with Tanya today? Yes, I get a yes on that. Jasmine, I had a dream. My 6-year-old went outside. He was walking alongside of my old neighbour and she told him to get in the house. He came in, but he was mad and crying. What was this all about? Okay. Okay. It feels like, to me, it feels like there's an element of worrying about the protection of your child. Worrying about the protection of your child's like the main thing that comes through. I feel like it's a little bit of there's a worry dream element to it. I mean, the old neighbour, I'm not really getting much for them, but considering they're like a past neighbour, you know, there's someone from the past and they're just a neighbour, that could even represent Randall in a sense, because it's like, he's now from the past, he's moving into as a past person in your life, and it's kind of like the energy of, you know, you're not in my home anymore, you're just a neighbour or someone, you know, it's that distance, that kind of arm's length energy, and I feel like there is a little bit of that there, but it's worrying about the protection of a child or children, I would say. Rain, my dad just came back from the hospital. What can I keep in mind for his well-being? Okay. I feel strongly like connection. I feel like the communication, keeping conversation up, or keeping, you know, even if it's like just telling stories or whatever, however you might like express, you know, where you're just kind of being in that vicinity and having some level of throat chakra connection in a way, whether it's just you talking, you know, or a little bit of a conversation. I feel like there's an element of like social, and I do feel like this has come up before, so it must be like an important thing. If it's just to keep a level of connection in a very, you know, we can be really connected to someone that we're at a really long distance away from, but having that in-person like voice, hearing that voice, is always something that's kind of lifts your spirits a little bit when it's someone you love, and I rarely feel that come through. I rarely feel that. Rain says, should I apply to the writing contests I see online? Oh. And I'm getting a yes with that, and that's really interesting. And best of luck with that as well, because that's one thing that I really admire, is people who can write. You know, because I've written articles, you can see on my website there's articles there. But I would love to write a book about like maybe my experiences, or, you know, things that my experiences, spiritual experiences mainly. But I just can't do it. I can't, you know, it's like, you could put it in a way where it seems like a fictional story, you know, a little bit like a novel, but I couldn't do it. I really admire people who can do creative writing, and they make all these different separate storylines of the characters in the book. They all play a part in each other's lives, and it all kind of ties up nicely at the end. I'm creative, but not like that. Creative writing is definitely not within my creative scope. Like, my creativity is more like making things, or actual services that I offer, you know, like maybe making my sound healing different from other people's with my creativity, or creating something, creative writing, something that I I don't know what to say. Like, I admire it so much. It just baffles me. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about that specifically, but card of my choice for your new love for Rain. Children. So you have children. Your love life is being affected by children. So that could be your own children, children of your friends, family, things like that. Working with children, you know, maybe a job role that includes children. Or even tapping into your inner child. Something along the lines of children or your inner child is very important to your life path. So yeah, it can include working with children as well. Maybe that's a job role that comes up. Or with this writing, maybe it's children's stories, who knows, you know? So Kevin, there is a guy in A's class about whom he talks about to his new friends, saying that he gives similar vibes to me. He feels like the guy likes him or something. Why was he saying that? Okay. It's kind of like a fascination, a fixation on your energy and how things were with you. It's almost like he can't quite let go of that, and there's like almost like looking for that as well in other places. Like, not looking for it, but if something seems similar, it's noticing it. You know, it's kind of like when we have a certain thing in our head, like you know, a certain type of car, maybe we start seeing it everywhere. We see that car on the road everywhere when we didn't before. And I feel like it's that kind of energy. It's like, because there's still kind of a fixation on you and that connection, there's kind of seeing it or trying to see it elsewhere. And Kita, she even told Megha about things I told him in front of him, or bad things about me. I guess a no on that. It feels like there could be something, but quite minimal. It doesn't feel like a lot of complaining. It doesn't feel like a lot. It feels quite small. And Keith, oh sorry, Jasmine. What does Phil mean by he thinks the decision was made for him? Okay. So he feels like the life path was already laid out. Like he's already in that, and he feels like it was just already laid out in front of him, and he just kind of kept going on that path, and that's all he kind of really felt like. Not like he actually made a decision, but like he just began to move, if that makes sense. Rain says you're a great writer. I really mean that. Maybe if I really tried, you know. Kevin, what does A feel about me and Tanya being close friends and that she is classmates? What does A feel about me and Tanya being close friends and that she is his classmate? What thoughts and feelings comes up? So there's actually a kind of a happiness in the sense of you being close friends, because it's a way to kind of maybe hear about you, maybe ask about you, maybe know a little bit still about you. So it feels almost like there's a bit of happiness around that. Rain, does the children card mean I'll meet the person through children, or does it mean my desire to have children will affect my love life? It feels like positive. It feels more like, I know it's like your love life's been affected by children, but it feels more like the path you will choose to go down, the path that you will end up taking, will be positive regarding the desire to have children. So whether that is having children with that person or that person already having children, I'm not exactly sure, but it seems like a positive path towards children. But it definitely impacts and influences the direction that you take. Sorry, I was going to say the position that you take. Okay, so we will be just coming up to the end. Let's see. Okay, so if you have any one last question or request one last question or request for one last card, you're very welcome to that. So let's do Ankita, card for morning feelings about me and another brother. Okay, Let's do the Earth Magic. I've been feeling good about them. Oh, we have generations, so that's interesting, but not really giving us much information about feelings. So let's do, oh, ancestors and family. So we're all resonating with what that is. But the family card's like a closeness. It's like a positive card. It's feeling a bond, a familiar bond. Sometimes it links to soul family, but of course in this respect it's very close to the family. But that's a positive card for a connection. It's like feeling that bond, feeling positive. So ultimately, even if there's things going on at the moment, deep down, there's a really positive bond and positive feeling. So that was a nice one. Spellcasting one. Kevin, how will A think and feel if I meet him and Tanya in October and say my name is something else as I meet them and Tanya's new friend? So I feel like a really negative energy around that. Like there's kind of a guidance against that actually coming up, I'm sorry to say. Ankita, does Em feel bad about losing me and her feelings when she saw my status about other friends yesterday? Yeah, there's definitely, it does feel a little bit like feeling bad about losing you, but also feeling like too much of an ego to, you know, it's too difficult to maybe apologize or maybe make amends in a way that would bring them down a little bit. So it's kind of, it does kind of feel like it's too difficult to say sorry, or it's too difficult to work things out. It's kind of like it's too much ego, too difficult to do that. That's how it feels. So I'm sorry to say that. Kevin, feels like A makes others believe he doesn't care or think about me and has moved on, but it doesn't look like it. Yes, and I agree with that. There's a lot of deflection, I think. A card from my spirit guides for Rain. So let's do spellcasting. Protection! Your spirit guides are protecting you. So don't be afraid, like I always say, don't be afraid to ask. So we have our spirit guides around all the time. Sometimes I'm not saying we expect them to do things for us, but sometimes we forget that they're not just overseeing and doing what they want, what they feel is right at each time. We can also ask for things sometimes. So if you want to ask for help with a manifestation or ask for protection over a certain thing, you can say that. Say, I'm really thankful that you protect me, but at the moment, I want more protection over this trip I'm going on, or I want more protection over this relationship. You're very welcome to do that. I would always give thanks first for what they already do and then ask them. But yeah, I just think that's a respectful way to do it. But protection, they're already protecting you, so that's nice. Jasmine says, I remember dreaming about Mike. I was remembering seeing him and being around his cars. What was the dream and the message I was supposed to get from it? Did the dream have a sexual aspect to it too? Let's see. So I'm not feeling that sacral sensual energy here. Perhaps there has been dreams like that, but I'm not feeling it here. And I'm feeling a lot as well, like it's really positive. It just seems like kind of a connection, like deepening the connection kind of dream. Like it's almost like he could, in the dream space, he could take you somewhere that he likes. He could show you things that he likes. He could, to try and deepen that connection. Like in a similar way, if when we're dating someone, we might take them to our favorite restaurant or take them to our favorite spot. Like with a nice view that we like to go to. It's like taking you to see things that he likes. So it's almost like just a dream to deepen the bond. So it seems really nice in that sense. How will things go if I introduce myself to A and Tanya's new friends in October if we all meet? How would that go? So I'm feeling more positive energy on that one. I am feeling more positive energy. So I'd say well. Kevin, you're welcome. Ankita, so it's like she doesn't feel like saying sorry. Like it's hard. It's hard to come down and say maybe I was wrong or just try to work things out. It's almost like wanting you to come to her, wanting you to say sorry, wanting you to do all the work, basically. Yeah, that's how it feels. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. You're so welcome, guys. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll have a great birthday. I'm still going to be streaming very, very regularly, so I'm sure that I will see you, maybe on my birthdays, but especially in that week coming up, I will definitely see you. Um, I may be on a little bit later for another stream, but I'm not really sure. So, I'm doing a new type of reading that I haven't done on stream yet, and I'm making my own casting mat for it, where I will read from. So I may be on later when I'm making that mat. So maybe we'll do a little practice of the readings then. I'm not 100%. It's probably a good idea to do a little practice. But I will be streaming that. We'll be streaming the process of that. So if anybody does want to come in, if you are free, just for a little chat, maybe a little experimental reading of my new type of reading that I'm going to do. Be nice to see you if you are available at that time. I know this is like a good different time for different time zones, you know. But we do have coming up. Let me just see. Do we have any coming up? No. Don't have any more scheduled yet, but there will be. So I'm thinking of doing another. If you haven't had a channeling yet, let me know, and if I have to do another channeling stream, I can do that. But other than that, we will have another members crystal ball at some point before the end of September. If you are heart chakra, we might do a heart chakra one. We might do that. But like I always say, as you guys know, all of my information is in the description to contact me or to visit my website. So don't be afraid of messaging me if you do have any questions or need any help with anything. And love, light and blessings. I really, really hope to see you soon.